Hey, ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans alike. I'm Ryan, and I'm here to tell you about a great show that happened this past Saturday, August 6, 2012, at the historic Bourbon Park Pavilion in beautiful, bustling Bourbon, Indiana. Whew. If you are not aware, or if you're not living in this area, it was a torrential downpour. Huge, crazy storm happened. Rumor has it that no less than 3 miles away, a tornado touched down. So I cannot believe how many fans showed up, how many great x.s.e superstars showed up. It truly was a great experience. We opened up the show with having the owner and general manager of Xtreme Sports Entertainment, Mark Reel, come out and thank the fans, give them a heartfelt thank you for coming out and always giving his appreciation to these great fans that are the livelihood of the business, that come out each and every night, even in terrible, terrible weather like this. So a big thank you to them. And then we segued into the son of a living legend coming out, Ox Baker Jr., and he won his 0-1 Indiana State Championship. If you remember last month, there was some controversy with it, and he wants his title back, plain and simple. He knew he wasn't going to get a title match tonight, so he wanted to prove to everybody that he still had a really good match ahead of him tonight. So he asked for the International Outlaw, Chris Reigns, to come out and join him in a tag team match against anybody. Who were the two superstars that came out? Two of the most impactful rising superstars in the x.s.e locker room, Mean Mark Vandy and the Polish heartthrob Jaron Skalka. These guys are fast-paced, and they are getting better with each and every match. It was really interesting seeing, the difference in style between the two established veterans. Their methodical, mat-based arsenal of moves, and these new guys who are fast, and they are learning each and every night. Ox Baker Jr. let these blows over and over and over again on Mean Mark Vandy, and it led to the hurt punch, the dreaded hurt punch, and Ox Baker Jr. and Chris Reigns got the win. It was a really interesting match, and it was a great start to the evening. Our second match of the evening was you could call him a light heavyweight or a cruiserweight. Just I know him as Xtreme. Jinx and Ames, two great veterans that have been in this business for almost 10 years going on, and these two guys put on a heck of a match. They were roaring all over that ring, flips, somersaults. It was just an intense match. I'm a big fan of both of these guys. It's great to see these guys in the ring. I would love personally to see these guys in a best of 5 or best of 7 series matches, because I think each and every one of these matches could get even better than the last, and it was great seeing these guys. Ames is kind of going, he's kind of got a little hot streak going right now, and it's kind of interesting seeing him have more of an attitude, more of a bravado than usual. He was showboating a lot more, talking to the camera and talking to fans, hitting on fans, not hitting, forget that. So Ames was definitely more flamboyant in a sense, and unfortunately this got the better of him, and it led to Jinx getting a nice little roll-up on him. Things happen, but the good thing is they both shook hands at the end, and I really think that these guys could have an intense rivalry, in the coming months at Xtreme Sports Entertainment. I was getting ready to call another match for the third one, but when I was interrupted by the albino dragon Steven Drochner, who was accompanied in the ring by Griffin, Kenny Cage, and their manager, Chet Urblansky. They were cutting what you could call a promo to have Big Daddy Dean was actually, surprisingly enough, came out to interrupt them. This set up for a brutal match between Steven and Big Daddy Dean. I mean, you couldn't see two more opposite, superstars. Big Daddy Dean is this big, visceral guy, and Steven's a smaller guy, but he's a high flyer, and he's quick, and pound for pound, he might be one of the best x.s.e superstars today. It was really an interesting matchup. One of the funniest moments of the whole match was the match actually left the ring, and Big Daddy Dean threw Steven outside the arena, and there was this huge puddle, like I'm talking 10 by 5 puddle, 10 feet by 5 feet puddle. He threw Steven into this gigantic puddle, and it just soaked him, soaked all his gear, his shoes, everything, and he just put a wallop on him, and he was hitting him outside and threw him through another door, and they came back in. There was a chair shot from Kenny onto Big Daddy Dean, but it wasn't over until, Steven was able to get the defeat, and now he is in effect the bodyguard of Steven Drochner, and he has to do his bidding, and he also has to basically do the bidding of Griffin and Chet and Kenny Cage bell to bell, meaning from the time of a match when the bell rings to the time of the match when it's over, he has to do whatever those four gentlemen say. So it's a pretty interesting, idea. All right. We are now on to match number 4, which was Jimmy W. versus Nick Cutler. This is your classic style match. Two guys that are, very complimentary of themselves in their style. Nick Cutler, the prime cut Nick Cutler, is a showboater, if there ever was one, in a good way. I mean, he comes out to New Kids on the Block. I mean, how can you not like a guy who comes out to New Kids on the Block? So it was a nice traditional, basic back and forth match. The prime cut Vanity cost him a defeat, unfortunately, as he missed an opportunity to capitalize on a downed opponent in Jimmy W. after a series of intense moves. Jimmy landed this insane ensiguri. I believe it's called an ensiguri. I could be wrong. Jimmy, if you're watching this, let me know and I'll apologize. But Jimmy landed this sweet kick on Cutler's noggin, and he got the 1, 2, 3. It was a good match. Thumbs up to those guys. You could call this the triple main event if you want. Our next match was the last man standing match, or as Super Diva would call it, the last Diva standing match. This match went everywhere, and when I say everywhere, I literally mean everywhere. Obviously, it was in the ring, but it went through the entire building, all the way to a playground 2 blocks down, and I'm not even joking. It was raining, and these guys went the distance 2 blocks. No, I'm just kidding. They went through this playground. They went through this 2-story slide. Hardcore Harry threw Diva down there and then pretty much somersaulted all the way down and attacked him even more. It was a brutal match. This rivalry is one of the most intense rivalries I've seen in a long time. There was whips and belts, and I'm sure Diva loved every single second of it. Hardcore Harry gave this flying shoulder block on Diva, and was able to get the 10 count after that crazy flying shoulder block that he's been famous for lately. So that was a great match. Our co-main event was for the 0-1 Indiana State Championship, initially, between Brutus Dillon and the Juggernaut Osiris. I called this initially. It was supposed to be for the title. However, J.B. Blackwell, the agent to champions, and came out and he interrupted me and said this was now going to be a non-title match, and if Osiris lost the match, he would also lose his opportunity at the Almighty Sheik's title at the August 25th show, which is going to happen in Elkhart, Indiana. So now it was a non-title match, but it was also for a future title shot, so it is a lot of things on the line there, obviously. It's an interesting matchup because these are arguably the two biggest superstars in x.s.e. In our sister promotion 01, and the biggest superstars on their rosters. So I honestly thought the ring was going to break about 15 times, but luckily it didn't. That would not be fun at all. Be great to see, but not fun, But these guys are just brutal. Osiris is, a 400-pound behemoth, and he can fly like, someone half his size. He did this flying somersault, and I swear he ran from one corner and flipped in the middle and landed on Brutus, who was laying in the corner. This was just an intense match. The end of the match was with after J.B. Blackwell had hit Osiris with the briefcase. Brutus grabbed it and he was going to hit him again. However, Osiris was able to trip him, and Brutus landed dead first, straight ahead, right down on it, and knocked him clean out. Osiris got the pin, and luckily he won, so he's able to get his title match against the Almighty Sheik at the August 25th show, which will be at 1712 South Napanee Street in Elkhart, Indiana. It's a 6 p.m. show. It's a Headlock on Hunger. It's our annual event. But anyway, so that was just a brutal match. I was so pumped for that. I mean, I think the crowd was just ballistic by this point. I'd never seen two guys so big put on such a great fast-paced show. Great job. This also led to 01 representative Eric King was called into the ring by Brutus Dillon. And just as you thought that Brutus was about to attack Eric King because he wanted another title match, whose music hit? None other than Hardcore Harry. He came out and he made a challenge to Brutus for the August 25th show. It's like, Brutus, do you want a match? Well, I'm here. I'm ready to go for this match. He actually challenged Brutus right then and there, but Brutus, left the ring. This is going to be a very, very interesting match, two established veterans, and I can't wait to see it. I mean, as if the matches at August 25th show weren't, Almighty Sheik versus Juggernaut Osiris, as if that wasn't enough. Come on, now you got Brutus versus Hardcore Harry. Come on, you want to see that. And then, in our main event of the evening, we had a tables, ladders, and chairs match. Arguably the most extreme possible match you can think of between the Misfit, Lance Story, and Kenny Cage for the Tri-State title. These guys, they broke so many tables. Kenny was just thrashed through, I think, 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 tables. Just severed in half. One of the tables didn't break initially. What did Lance do? He picked him up and he threw him one more time and he snapped it in half. Lance was pushed off. Lance and Kenny were both pushed off so many ladders. I think there's more metal ladders, shrapnel, and inside their bodies than, I think at a dump heap. Seriously, it was just that intense. Lance, at the end of the match, towards the end of the match, Lance brought out his Lance Story official chair, and he must have thwacked, Chet and Kenny so many times. There's a lot of outside interference, and just when he thought Lance was, down and out, he kept coming back. they actually brought 2 ladders up, and Kenny and Lance are both going up their respective ladders at the same time when out of nowhere Big Daddy Dean comes in, and he goes to push Lance when Kenny starts screaming bell to bell, bringing back the whole stipulation with previously with Kenny and Steven. So what does Big Daddy Dean do? He pushes Lance off his ladder, giving Kenny the opportunity to capitalize and get the tri-state title. Big Daddy Dean, starts, the crowd's aghast. What's going on? Big Daddy Dean has just started this new, is he turning, bad guy? What's going on? What are we gonna do? Well, the bell rings, and he goes to shake Kenny's hand, and he screams bell to bell, and he just gives him his finisher, which is this, like, I want to say it's like a modified power bomb DDT style move, and it was just intense. So like good sportsman, Lance shakes the hand of Big Daddy Dean, and they give a couple chair shots to Steven and Chet, and Steven gets this atomic DDT where he just, flops halfway around it. Anyway, it was an excellent show. 7 of the best matches I've seen live in one night. I mean, you can't get better than that. October 27th is the next time we'll be in beautiful Bourbon, Indiana. August 25th, 2012, we'll be in Elkhart, Indiana, which is also beautiful. So I'm getting a little hoarse here, so I'm going to end it here. Check out Facebook.com and look up 01 Underground, or I'm sorry, 01 Pro, formerly known as 01 Underground. And also, Xtreme Sports Entertainment will have a page very soon. Thanks for watching, and like it, subscribe, share.